pick out there. But we are seeing slightly different compositions here going into game number 2. What do you think, Lafel?
Let's go
Looking at
game
RRQ
number
Hoshi, they want to
2.
fight with a little bit more
Aurora versus
control.
RRQ
We gotta
HOSHI.
see what Dairen picks up as his battle spell as well. Will it be the Revitalize or will it be the
Ini
Petrify? But
harusnya
having the Bane makes it so that
penetrate
you're kiting
tanknya
around,
kolam.
right? You're moving backwards and you're letting Benedetta do her own thing in the back line. Because if they dive in with the deadly catch, you're able to push people away, creating more space for it in a time. So for RRQ, it's a draft for Skylar. And for Aurora, this is like MLBB 2 years ago, where you have
MLBB
FREDRINN,
2
where
years
you're
ago.
just forcing fights time and time again. And except this time, having the Eve, you're able to slow down the
Let's
enemy
go
so
game 2.
much, so you can able to dish out free damage. And the Cho as well. I'm pretty sure Cho is gonna have Drill. This is still, even though it's like utility over utility over utility, Aurora's 3-man mid lane is actually very strong.
Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from there as well. So now that we're back in the land of dawn for game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, I feel inclined to remind you of the stakes, because if Aurora are able to take one more game, they immediately qualify to the next stage of the Snapdragon Pro
Draftnya
series.
sih
RRQ needs to do everything in their power to stop their tracks.
Right now, we got to do a little bit of house cleaning here. But first of all, I'm looking at the gold lane here. It looks like Dominkite is actually having priority over Skylar. Something to note here is that Dairen is going to be using the Revitalize. And looking at Dairen's talent setup, looks like he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, having the Drill as well as the
sakit bang, sakit.
The Spell Vamp.
Idok masih aman.
Speaking of aggression, though, down here, Edok and Skylar both already taking a lot of punishment from Yue.
Seperti biasa, mirroring.
Edok not really catching a break this series.
Tapi red dalam ya.
He was getting abused pretty hard in the first few minutes too.
Oh, and something we haven't
highlighted,
FREDRINN, Cho is his hero, man. Like,
true.
No matter which lane he goes to, if he's playing jungle, EXP, or whatever, if he's using the Cho, then
Scalar mati, aduh.
Ooh, there we go.
Sakit.
Appraiser's Wrath, love to see it. Just
Appraiser's Wrath.
And Skylar into a pile of mush for first blood.
You say love to see it?
Dairen?
I would say debatable.
Kena freeze.
It depends.
I mean, if you're on the receiving end, you know,
yeah,
you won't see it before you're turned into a pile of mush, so it's fine.
Yeah, honestly, FREDRINN is a TikTok favorite, man. Like, so many clips of 4,000 damage on the Appraiser's Wrath. It's like, ugh.
Even I have a TikTok clip on FREDRINN. That's how you know.
Oh, really?
A lot. Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, damn. Well, there you go. You got the Chos, you got the FREDRINN. So now with RRQ HOSHI, they're still fine because their comp does scale up.
Anjing,
so it's okay.
dipaksa.
Having Skylar die there is kind of not okay.
Yeah,
Dipaksa berpikir ulti gitu.
The skies from the last round by taking out Skylar himself in the bottom lane, despite it being a 2v3. That real world manipulation being able to extend all the way under tier 1, and now we can see why they picked up this hero despite having to face a Valentina.
Yeah, Yue now as well. In the previous game, he was basically untouched. Perhaps the same thing can be said about this game because looking at how Renegade is moving
Scalar.
as well.
Deadly Catch able to stop Demonkite from going forward. Entropy allows Skylar to walk back as well. That means that Aurora cannot continue their pursuit here. So RQ with some breathing room, but unfortunately they found her in. Though with the Purify, he is fine.
Do you worry if FREDRINN comes back to the meta, Staffa?
Well, we haven't seen him in a long time, so I actually don't mind seeing him a little bit. What I do worry about is if we see nothing but FREDRINN.
Okay. You know what? I'll agree with you there. FREDRINN is fine. Not every game, FREDRINN. Speaking of every game, looking at the top lane here, it looks like Dairen gets punished so hard, and now Demonkite goes to the jungle.
Extremely practical.
Avatar the Guardian a bit too late, and oh wow, he just gets kicked back into the Appraiser's Wrath, and Demonkite has some takoyaki for dinner. Unfortunately, Edok and Skylar in the front line finally picks up Yue and are able to walk back into their own tier 1 to be able to stay safe from the rest of Aurora.
I mean,
Cici
so far,
lawan
Aurora is having amazing
itu.
control. 1.5k
Jadi itu
gold
emang
ahead.
susah.
And Demon Kite, he's basically 80% HP here. He's completely
Cicinya
fine with
tinggal
contesting the
lempar
turtle again.
yo
And
sambil jalan.
again, FREDRINN is one of those turtle contests that is very hard for you to really do anything. Especially as a Bane that lost his purple buff that doesn't have retry. Yeah, this is going to be a free
Fritar
turtle
tuh.
all day, every day.
RRQ understand it as well. And we can see them already
Skylarnya
shifting the
banyak
defensive
terus ya.
positions. Renjay looking for Skylar, not able to find
Kena
him.
pop terus.
But with the wave cleared up, Domenkite not going to be able to find too much more
Ya kan?
gold off of it. Tyron wants to
Teori
look for an
ancaman.
ult, but without Petrify, he's not really able to set up. So Aurora just
Menit
gets to
5.
walk away.
The gold
Jangkaunya
leaderboard
itu.
here, both side laners for Aurora is actually doing very, very well. Now, even the jungler, they're shifting between Demon Kite as well as Citizen, but really a big difference here. 3.7k for the Moskov, and Skylar is nowhere near.
Iya, udah jadi
Yeah,
kelemahan.
that is not a good sign because we literally mentioned earlier, Nathan as a hero just is so strong in general throughout the game, and Aurora knows this. So a lot of additional pressure has been put on Skylar's lane in particular, just to make sure that Doming has a great time.
And they're like, oh, we heard you're strong, but are you 1v3 kind of strong? It looks like not really. Like, as strong as the hero is, going up against Renegade, Yue, Demon Kite, as well as Doming Kite, it's a very big ask
Ini kalau
for
bisa sampai late
Skylar
game
on this
bisa comeback
time,
ya RRQ.
especially when we see
Semoga.
when Edok comes to help save him, Edok takes so much damage that he really can't contribute too much, and Skylar, whether he likes it or not, has to stay under his turret.
He may be able to walk through time, but he's not really able to walk through people. Aurora gonna continue initiating on the bot lane, targeting Edok. Nagatot again forced back, even the Spear of Destruction, just to contribute a little additional damage. No, conceal play with the dragon right into the real world manipulation, and that is going to be a dead Sutsujin. Tyron trying to stop Yue, but again, no petrify. He can only just walk back. Renegade being as annoying as we expect, and Aurora continuing to apply pressure, looking for even more across the map. Tier 1 can be the target. Abrasive Trap does some solid damage once again. Real manipulation though, this time trapping Demon Kite, but he's able to still walk away despite everything.
Dude, how is that fair? How is that fair? Demon Kite still survives after all of that, getting tower shot, being in the real world manipulation, gets a turtle.
Oh, he lives up to his name, you know? He can kite anything, even on a slow hero.
So that's why. All right, now a kick going on to Dyron. It looks like not gonna be much there. Aurora, like you said, Stefan, just keeps on putting the pressure, making it so that RRQ HOSHI don't have time to breathe. And looking at how Edok has been playing, this is one of those times where I reminded myself of my rank games and why I don't like using roam.
You know, I absolutely understand because I feel the same way. I feel really bad for Edok right now. His score is 1-0-0. Actually pretty good for a roam, but he's been able to contribute so little to the overall game so far.
Sepertinya
But to be
ya,
fair,
nggak
no
full.
one from RRQ HOSHI really has an impact
Suciin
so
kena
far.
lagi dong.
Dyron hasn't, Rins hasn't, Sutsujin hasn't. This really does feel like RRQ HOSHI, they're just playing for farm.
Ini izinnya dapat posisi.
And they're not trying to find unnecessary fights, or at least for RRQ HOSHI, most of the fights seem unnecessary just because even if we do fight, what are the chances that we're gonna win? It's very low.
Tyron, mati dong.
In trouble, Spear of Destruction already connected, and here comes Renegade. Ivor9 keeps him alive
Kena
for a little
konklusif
bit, but
blast.
not against 3
Matinya
members
kena
of Aurora.
konklusif.
They're just continuing to find picks everywhere across the map. And even though it seems like a lot has happened so far, actually only 7 kills in total this game, 5 in favor of Aurora.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but RRQ HOSHI, they need to find an opportunity to get something here. Because again, they're playing very, very defensive. And this is not to their fault. This is how their draft is systematically supposed to be played. Again, once they have an opportunity to turn things around, then it's going to be good. The bad thing here is Tafa is that from Aurora, not a single person has more than 3 kills. So no big shutdown goal will be held. Even if they kill Demon Kite, the amount of gold they get from Demon Kite isn't that much because he only has 3 kills.
And this is one of the positives as well of just Filipino gameplay, where if there's not a lot of kills, no matter how far ahead you are, you
kita
dying
susah
actually
RRQ
doesn't create
soalnya
that much of an
musuhnya
impact because you just don't
pilih kita
have any
ketemu
shutdown gold to give
Moskow.
away. Next Lord now gonna be the
Apa kita bikin
target.
ceritanya tank
Aurora
lagi?
gonna take their time with this one.
RRQ Hoshi, they're trying to use this
Harusnya ini
Lord
di
as a bit of a
box aja.
leverage to keep Aurora here.
Lordnya.
Sujin gets found out by Red J.
Way
Suzuki-nya
of the Dragon kicks him right into the rest of the Aurora gang, and
Susah
Appraisal
bang,
Draft
susah.
finishes him off. UA wins the death box fight against
Cuma
Rins.
nunggu itu
Skylar has to use
Skylarnya
entropy
doang.
defensively. Dyren will be able to get some split push in on the bottom side of the map, but is it gonna be enough?
Honestly, this might be over for RRQ Hoshi because rarely do we see that happening where a jungler gets straight up caught by a Cho, because usually you would have your members of the team
Ini
or the
kalau
jungler
Aurora
himself
menang
opening
jadinya
up the map.
menang
Like, look
3
at this.
kali jadi
It's
langsung
weird that
bisa lulus
Sutsujin,
next stage.
maybe he was looking at his items or
Setahu ku ya.
something, but he reacted so late towards Renegade catching him there.
Terus kalau RRQ
I mean,
ini
Bane
kalah
doesn't have a
masih
dash, so even if he
butuh win
notices, what
1
else
lagi.
is he gonna do, you know? But still, this shows that might be over.
Nice, mati. Nggak
Renegade
mati.
actually caught out between all 5 members, but survives on 10% HP.
Masih
Even after
hidup ternyata.
everything, with all the resources spent, Susujin just barely able to secure his orange buff.
I mean, if this keeps on going on, Staffa Aurora looks like they have the first ticket to go
Harusnya
to
sih
the
ini
next
masih
stage.
bisa defense.
Right?
Ada
They
Nathan
can
soalnya.
do it. RRQ Hoshi
Asal
only with
Nathan
2
yang mati
kills,
duluan.
down by 5,000 gold. I don't think Skylar has
Masih
the
ada
Holy Crystal
pasif
just
tower
yet.
juga.
And at this point, he might need the Divine Glaive as well.
It's a complete reversal from what we saw in their match against Fnatic Onyx yesterday. Aurora
sakit, Bang.
showing them how it is done. The wave are gonna
Tuh,
be
siapa tuh?
oh, beautiful
Tuh,
3-man
Suzuki-nya
flicker. She
kena
could
lagi dong.
knockout right into the real world manipulation. Doman Kai gonna be doing some damage as Siren
Susah,
comes in
susah.
with the electro final blow, but he's not able to really do
Mati
anything
juga.
at all. Vengeance gonna be
Waduh,
soaking all of that up.
domeng.
And now Doman Kai is in the base. He takes a double kill. Only leaving Rins alive. This is the opening Aurora wanted. 3v1. They're gonna push
Kita
straight
lihat.
down mid and look to end game 2.
Percaya kan nih?
Coaches and gold laners would say that what Domenkai
Harusnya
did was a mistake.
masih ada minion.
But the dopamine you get from doing that quote play,
Masih aman harusnya.
I'd say it's worth it. It's worth it.
Masih aman, masih aman.
I mean,
Maybe
like,
he should rename himself to Dopamine Kai.
you're a goddamn genius, Staffa. I didn't even think of that. Dopamine kite. Oh, that's. You know what? There you go. You know what? Yeah, I approve. 10 out of 10.
Nice. I got approval, guys.
Matanya
Happy
udah
about that
Holy
one.
Crystal
Oh,
sih. Nice, mati.
He tried to
Sakit
jump back
bang.
in, to jump away, and then he just blew up. This is
Asal
where
gak kena
the time
vengeance saja.
does start getting a little bit scary, but they only have 1 inhibitor to play with.
Yeah, but you know, that's good. First you kill the gold laner, and then you kill the EXP, so there's a chance. Like, if you're in RQ's position, any good thing that happens, you just gotta take it, right? If your manager buys you a burger, you're
Domengnya
like, we're
mati.
losing, but at least we
Domeng.
get a burger.
Masih
You
hidup
gotta be
ternyata.
happy with what you got.
You know what, Lafel? You are absolutely right. Sometimes
Ini
you just gotta
free
appreciate
lagi
the
ya.
little things in life. And right now, any little
Apa mau
victory
defense
arc you
nih?
can get, they gotta hold on to and turn into a snowball.
Yeah, right now
Udah
RRQ are
diolin aja nih.
probably talking about, you know what, a burger is
Di
great,
reset
but you
lagi
know what
dong.
would be even better if we can steal this lord away. The
Nunggu
problem
minionnya
is they
jalan ya.
can't move forward. They don't really have a lot of avenues to come and check this lord.
Udah
It looks
diolin
like
tuh.
Aurora wants
Di lord.
RRQ Hoshi to come in.
Gak bakal
Never mind,
dikontes
they're
juga.
bursting it down.
Yeah, they know that RRQ is not gonna contest at this
Edward
point. It
ini
would
udah
be
si Halbert.
a little bit suicide to try and jump into that because Aurora still has a pretty big natural lead at this stage. They'll just try to hold because if they steal RWM with Deadly Catch, their base defense is actually not bad.
Benici
Oh yeah, honestly
target
not
pasti
bad.
ke
Looking at the
Suzuki.
gold here, Skylar has caught up.
Yang
Only
gak ada
differentiating
purify-nya.
by 1,000 gold, so it is still okay.
Kemudian satu scalar ada purify sih.
RRQ Hoshi, this is probably the strongest
Target
position
yang paling
that
gampang
they
ya
can in because, like you
Suzuki.
said, the wave clear is very good, and it's on Aurora not to make the mistake because the deadly catch, the
Sakit bang.
damage coming in from the time.
Sekali skill satu
They can
aja
do something
segitu
here.
dong.
RRQ Hoshi can do something.
Absolutely, but
Tuh,
that'll
betul.
depend on them. The Lord is crashing.
Harusnya
in,
masih
they're
bisa
taking a fair
defense.
amount of damage. Edok in a lot of trouble. Avatar the Guardian forward.
Susuchin udah
Needs to
pasti
be able to
mati.
defensively, but he is actually
Tetap
able to
mati.
survive. Clear the minion wave for now. Werewolf manipulation being used
Tergantung
by
scalernya
Prince to
nih.
actually deal with a lot of the minions coming in for Aurora and even take out Yue at the same time. RRQ Hoshi are able to survive to fight another day.
Dia mati sih.
Yeah, that was good, but now another wave is coming. Can they do it again?
Skylar.
Prince dashes in, gets hit with the Spear of Misery.
Yan kan nih,
Unfortunately, no stun here.
Yan.
Lyran's still alive. Skylar uses the
Nanti
Spear of
RRQ,
Might. Blade comes on in. The
GG
crystal
Aurora.
is wide open.
Nanti,
And
nanti.
because of that, Aurora will be your first team moving on to the next stage of the Snapdragon Pro Series MLBB.
Yep.